Hi everyone, happy Thursday. This is Ting Yuan, and I'm an artist for the past over 20 years actually, and I've been selling my art via art galleries as well as art venues, and the last 13 years I've actually operated my own art gallery. And now I'm an artist and art business coach. Now, today I'm going to do a Q&A for artists, okay? And I got two really great questions that I want to touch base with, and I want to answer your questions. The first question is about how to approach galleries to sell my art. Do I need to call first before showing up at the gallery? Okay, now this is a very important question because I know a lot of artists would like to have gallery representation, but there's a way to do it so that, you know, your success rate of getting accepted is better. So I'm going to touch 4 points on how to do this, okay? Number one, I want you to be aware of what it means to be represented by a gallery. Number two, what are galleries looking for? And number three, what you need to do before applying for art galleries. And number four, the signing of contract, okay? Now, the first thing I want you to be aware of is how much artists charge for commission. And it's usually between 45 to 60%, all right? And the reason why they charge 45 to 60% for a gallery representing you is because they have high overhead costs. For example, they have the gallery in the right location. They have the elite subscriber list, the elite basically art collectors, and that takes time to build a good subscriber list. And most galleries that are well established have very good lists. So these are the people that are art collectors that want to purchase your art. Number three, the other thing they're going to do is also they are going to spend a lot of time and also money promoting you, right? For example, if you're having a solo show, they are basically paying for the whole solo show, the food, the beverage, and the promotions, the advertisement, and all of that. That's one of the reasons why they take 45 to 60% commission. And the other thing is also they have to deal with all the dealing and packaging when your art sells. You know, it could be overseas, it could be local, it doesn't matter. But these all cost them the business money, right? And that's the reason why you will be paying 45 to 60% commission to the art galleries that are going to represent you. And if you're a prolific artist and you don't have time to market your artwork, gallery representation is wonderful because then you can really concentrate on your work and that's what you focus on. Now let's talk about what galleries are looking for in an artist before they represent you, okay? Now, you need to specialize in a genre. So basically you need to have a specialty genre that you specialize in, that you want to create a lot of work with. They want basically for you to be proficient, so you have to have a lot of artwork and you have to be efficient as well. So they want a large collection of artwork. Therefore, before you apply for galleries, I want you to have a genre specialty that you specialize in, and I want you to have at least 15 to 30 artwork. Actually, 15 is at the minimum. You should have at least 20 to 30 artwork to show to the gallery. And you also have to know your art mission well. Okay, what are the reasons for you to create these work? You know, what are the reasons? They have to be an extensive and cohesive collection, so it'll all make sense. Not like, you know, one is landscape, one is still life, one is figurative. No, they basically want you to specialize in one genre. So basically it means one type of artwork that you create, and you're going to create a big, extensive, and cohesive collection of that. Okay. And you also have to have the skill set. Your skill set has to be professional. It has to look like it's done by a professional artist, not an amateur artist, because galleries only represent professional artists, okay? And they also want artists to be really, you know, like when I was saying, to know your mission. They want you to be in depth with what you're doing, your medium, your mission, and everything. You have to be in depth. Because if they accept you for a solo art show, you have to do an artist talk. Right? And galleries also want you to have work that they want to see what kind of work you have sold so far. So they want to know that your art is popular before they represent you. So that those are important things for the galleries to look for when they're looking for to represent an artist. Now the third thing that I want to talk about is what do you need to do before applying for the gallery representation, okay? So first thing I want you to do is research galleries, okay? I want you to go online and research the galleries that you want them to carry your work. And I want you to see if their work that they carry are similar to yours, because that means that the gallery doesn't represent artists that are either figurative, landscape, whatever genre that you're doing, okay? So you want to approach galleries that are actually already selling that kind of work, okay? Similar to yours, okay? Then I want you to basically subscribe to your newsletters, get to know the gallery, all right? Because when you get to know the gallery, it's not like when you approach them, you are a cold call, which is not fun. You kind of want to know who you're talking to, what the gallery is about, so that when you approach them, you already know who they are. Because when you get represented by a gallery, that relationship is very symbiotic, right? That means you have to have a good a reputation and also a good rapport with them, right? So you want them to be able to relate to you, you want to be able to relate to them, so that when you apply for the galleries, you already know quite a few things about them. And I also want you to have your art gallery have all your art collection ready, and that your website is very well categorized, so that when you approach them and ask them to look at your website, they can go into your website and they know exactly what's going on. So it's not, it's not disorganized and they don't know what to look at. You have to have a very good art gallery or art shop in your website that is very well organized, so they know what they're looking at when you approach them. And your bio, your artist statement has to be ready, and as well as an updated CV, your curriculum vitae. So you want to be very current in your curriculum vitae, talk about the exhibitions that you have had, talk about your art sales, talk about anything. For example, if you had coverage on magazines or newspapers, you got to talk about those as well. And you got to have a cover letter ready, so when you approach them and talk to them and ask them if they would accept you as a gallery artist, you're telling them what is it that you're looking for and what kind of art you have. And if you have enough art for a solo show, do tell them that as well, okay? Lastly is the contract. So you have to sign a contract. So all galleries should have a contract available for you. So when you look at the contract, I want you to read it and make sure you understand everything, because some of them have different rules. Like some gallery will say, I will accept your art in this gallery, but you're not allowed to sell your art within this many radius miles, right? And or I will represent your art in this town, but I have to be the only one that carries your art, so you're exclusive artist to them in that town or in that city. So read your contract properly before you sign it, okay? And if you are interested to find out more about if you are thinking about self-representation or gallery representation, I do have a blog that I've written about it, and it's called Do You Know the Advantages and Disadvantages of Galleries versus Self-Representation, which I will put the link on the post as soon as I'm done with this Facebook Live. So I'm just going to go through the 4 points with you again. In order to approach an art gallery, I want you to know these 4 things. What you need to be aware of, why they basically charge 45 to 60% commission is because they have high overhead costs. They are going to support you. They're going to basically sell your art for you. They're going to market you, and therefore that costs them money. And also they have the elite art collectors in their subscriber list, which also takes time to build. And what are galleries looking for? Galleries are looking for artists that have a specialty genre, that are prolific, that has a good collection of artwork, and that is prolific, efficient, and also that has that know your genre really well and know what your mission is about, that you're able to carry a conversation about what your art is about, and that you're able to have an artist talk in case that they take you on and want a solo art show with you. You also have to have at least 20 to 30 artworks available right away, so that if they're interested in doing a solo show with you, you have them to do solo shows with, okay? And galleries also looking for, this is also important, which I forgot to tell you about, they're also looking for distinguished style, okay? They want a very distinctive style, and they want originality. So they do not want art that looks like there's 3-4 artists, actually more than that, probably 10 artists doing the same kind of work, right? They want originality. So the more original your artwork is, the more distinctive your art style is, the better it is for you to be accepted. Okay, so those are the things that what galleries are looking for. And what you need to do before applying for gallery representation, basically you have to make sure you have a large collection of artwork, your website is ready, is updated, your CV is also updated, so that they know what your history is in selling art. Okay, so it has to be current. And the last one is about the signing of the contract, so make sure that you look through your contract properly before you sign it. Then the next question I have, so I'm moving on to the second question, and the second question is how to get consistent sales so I can quit my day job. Now that is a huge question, isn't it? Yes, I know a lot of us, a lot of artists, that I was one of you that, was working in a job that was very uninspiring, and I love art and I love creating. So eventually I moved on to opening my own art business and started selling my art. Okay, so I know a lot of creatives are, wanting to change their lives, wanting to build their dream, and wanting to quit their 9-to-5 so they can open an art business and be passionate about what they're doing every single day. Excellent question. So I've got 7 things I want to talk to you about. Number 1 is extensive art collection. Number 2, target audience. Number 3, art messaging. Number 4, photographing your work. Number 5, create a website. Number 6, start broadcasting your work on social media. Number 7, start a subscriber list, okay? And I will go through each one. So, number 1, extensive and cohesive art collection. Very similar to the one that I just talked about in regards to getting gallery representation. So the first thing you want to do is you need to specialize on a genre. Then you need to create a collection of artwork, okay? And your artwork has to be extensive and actually has to be cohesive. That means they all tie in to a collection instead of, they just don't, like when I say specialize in a genre, I mean like if you're going to do figurative, if you're going to specialize in landscape or still life or abstract, like you should specialize on one so that your collection is not a mixture of, oh, I got a little bit of still life, I got a little bit of figurative, I got a little bit of this and that. That doesn't show professionalism. You got to concentrate on one specialty, okay? And it doesn't mean that you are stuck in that genre forever. It just means that you have to specialize on one, and then once you get to be known for that genre, then you can start making smaller genre on the side and start introducing to your customers, all right? And then who is your target audience? So when you start your artwork and you start painting, most likely your target audience is very similar to you because you create from your heart. Therefore, you create for yourself, right? We all create for ourselves to start off with. So I want you to think about what you like, who you are, and what your target audience will be like. They'll be very similar to you. And your art messaging. It means that when you create work, you have to know what your mission is. What is it about your art that makes it so special? What is the message that you're trying to transmit to the world? Right, that is important, because if you don't have the right art messaging, then you will be creating work with no mission, with no depth, and that would be very hard to attract the right people to your art. And photographing your work. Now, photographing your work is extremely important because if you have the right pictures, the best thing is go to a photographer that's professional and get them to do some really great pictures for you, okay? Make sure your art is going to match the colors that they show you. Basically, when they photograph your work, they're going to give you a contact sheet so that you can look at your artwork with the contact sheet and see if the color, if the colors that the pictures that they took represent your artwork, okay? If they don't, then you need to talk to the photographer and say, well, this yellow is not quite the yellow that that I painted here. But I have to tell you, it's not going to be the same, because when they print it out, it's going to be from a printer, right? So you're talking about ink versus acrylic or oil. So it's not going to be exact, but as close as possible. That's the kind of result that you want to see. You want to see the result that the colors represent your art quite well and as close as possible, okay? But if it's not close, then you need to talk to your photographer about it so that you can do some changes and have him or her to color correct for you, okay? With the right photos, you can put them in your website, as well as eventually when you can invest some money into your business, you can make prints out of them. So it's important to have professional photographer to take your photos, okay? And then after that is create a website. So once you have those wonderful images from the photographer, you start to create your own website. You can either hire somebody to do that for you, or you can just look for a website platform that you can create your own website. Nowadays, it's really quite straightforward to create your own website, because you don't need special codes. It's very friendly, user-friendly. And so start doing your website. The most important pages are your home page, your art gallery, or what you can call it, the art shop, and about you. Okay, those are the three main navigation bars you should have on your navigation bar. Basically, your three main tabs on your navigation bar is about you, your art gallery, and your home page. Okay, now, and then after that, I want you to pick a social media to broadcast your artwork. So this is when you can either pick Facebook, you can pick Instagram, you can pick, there's all kind now, isn't it? There's Twitter and YouTube, and I want you to focus your time on that and be very consistent when you post. So when you're posting, you want to talk about your art. You want to basically tell people what your message is. You want to share what your art is about and what your process is. Get people intrigued about what you do, okay? So those are the social media posts that you need to do. And the last thing is, I want you to start creating a lead magnet and then get subscribers to subscribe into your newsletters. So number 7 is, more advanced. So if you want to start with the first, I would say 6 is a good way to start. Number 7 is more advanced, so you can wait for that to start subscriber list, but that is a very important one. As soon as you finish the first 6 steps, I want you to start the 7th step, okay? So let me just go through the steps with you again. Number 1 is extensive art collection. So basically, specialize on one genre, and then I want you to create a large, extensive art collection. And if you want to start like a part-time side hustle as a business, your art business, then you want to have at least 15 original artwork ready. And if you want to do full-time right away, so you want to do at least 25 to 30, okay? Then number 2, I want you to think about who your target audience is. Remember, they're very similar to you, so I want you to write them down, what they're like, what kind of personality, what their likes, what their dislikes, what are their fears, what is their wishes and needs. Number 3 is knowing your art messaging well, so that you can get really in depth with your art. Okay, so your art has more depth to it than instead of like, oh, here's an apple, but there's nothing to the apple, right? So you want to create work that intrigue people, that make people want to look a little further. And number 4 is getting your art photographed by a professional photographer. Number 5 is create websites so that you can start selling your art and have an e-commerce website. Okay, I forgot to mention, you got to have e-commerce website so that you can start collecting money and start selling artwork. Number 6, pick a social media account platform and then start being consistent on that platform. And number 7, start subscriber list. But there's also one more that I want to talk about, and that is basically, once you get all these things ready, I want you to start applying for art shows, okay? Art venues and all of that. Or you can start asking for gallery representation, and that is up to you to see which one suits you better. And if you want to know more about the steps that you need to take to basically to create a side hustle or full-time business with your art and quit your 9-to-5 job, I do have a guide. So when I'm done with this Facebook Live, I'll put the link there. Just download the guide, and as a beginner artist, do number 1 to 5 and then move on to number 6 to number 14, because there's actually 14 steps and then just basically move on as you finished it, one step at a time. So this way you don't overwhelm yourself, okay? And thank you so much for joining me, and I shall see you next Thursday.